This is a Renew original recording. Hello and welcome to Believe in People Extra, the companion mini-series to our award-winning podcast about all things addiction, recovery and stigma. I'm Robbie Lawson, the show's producer, and each week I'll bring you highlights, exclusive recordings, extended cuts and powerful moments from our archive. This series brings together the most impactful conversations and recovery-focused insights, condensed into short episodes to support and inspire those on their journey. In this clip, we talk with Adam Maxted, UK wrestling sensation, personal trainer and two-time Love Island contestant about steroid use, gym culture and the pressure to look a certain way. We unpack the difference between using and abusing performance-enhancing drugs, the side effects people don't always talk about, and why quick physical gains can come with long-term mental and physical health consequences.
When did you first get introduced to steroids and what were some of the circumstances that led to steroid use?
So it would have been like, so I'm natural now. Like, people are like, oh, well, if you've taken steroids, you can't call yourself natural, man.
Yeah.
And
it's not true. I don't think that's true at all.
Like, do you know what I mean? So I would have first heard about steroids probably when I was younger. Obviously, like Flex magazine, you're trying to get bigger. You see like Jay Cutler, all these massive guys on magazines. And I never wanted to be that big, but I really respected and admired like their physiques. And I remember I used to have a stack of Flex magazines that was massive because I was trying to read everything. How do I get big? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger's bodybuilding encyclopedia, I had that. All these Jay Cutler Flex magazines. So my two friends at the time, Ben and Chris, like they were pumped full of steroids. And like looking back now, they looked terrible. Like horrendous. They were just balloons. They were just full of water with big puffy cheeks. But to me as a skinny guy, I was like, fuck, my mates are massive. And they're like the same age as me. How are they so jacked? So that's really probably when I first started. And also being that skinny guy, I was probably like, you know, it'll maybe help me get bigger a little bit quicker. So that wasn't the case though. Like you still have to put the work in the gym. But that's probably when I first started learning about steroids was when I found my love for bodybuilding and also had friends. And I took, you know, like I've actually only taken test injections, right? Twice in my life, I swear. Okay. Once years ago when I was probably like 19. And then I started getting like these boils on my chest, like these horrible like pink, purple boils on my chest, which were from the gear that I was taking. That's why I got a chest piece to cover them. Yeah. But there's still like scarring there on my chest. So that's one of the things, like you've got to weigh up all the sort of side effects. Is it worth it? Like I made a reel about it the other day. If you just want to be a big guy in a bar and have girls come up and go, geez, your arms are nice, it's not worth the risk taking steroids. The health, the anxiety, the mindset stuff, and kind of probably getting sucked in and thinking that you've got to rely on that then forever. Do you know what I mean? Like I did them when I was younger, realized that like I put on a bit of size, but I've actually maintained size without taking steroids just through hard work, your nutrition, eating right. And also I knew I didn't want to be a pro bodybuilder. Like I know I don't want to get on stage and put on tiny little, I mean, I wrestle in tiny little
I was going to say,
but I knew I didn't want to be a pro bodybuilder. There's no money in bodybuilding. Yeah. Like it's amazing. It's a great sport and I do love it, but it wasn't my goal. And I knew the only way you're going to get that jacked is by taking loads of stuff. And it's not the sort of physique that I want to have. I want to walk out and like look like an action man. Do you know what I mean? And I would say the second time I took test was, I was a little bit older. I was probably, I'm 32 now. I was maybe 29 when I was in Marbella. And I was kind of like, I'm a bit older now. I was like, you know what? I might hop on something again and just see what happens. And I put on a bit of size, but again, I've never taken steroids and gone, wow, my physique is so much better now that I'm on stuff.
That's the misconception. Is that a lot of people think as soon as you start taking them, you're just going to be look like you're on the front of a cover of a Flex magazine.
If you're not training hard, if you're not pushing yourself progressive overload, if you're not pushing yourself to failure, if you're not staying consistent, if you're not training for years to give your body time to adapt and actually build good muscle tissue, because people say over time you get muscle maturity and you get that dense, thick muscle. If you're not doing that, like jumping on steroids is not going to give you the answers that you want or the results that you want. If your nutrition's not on point, your sleep, your recovery, your hydration, your water, there's so many things that you need to get right first and give a chance to work. And then you can go, okay, I feel like I've got to a really good place naturally. I'm doing all this stuff. I've made good progress. If I want to get to the next level and actually try and pursue a career or a sport in bodybuilding or something that, you know, needs me to look a certain way, now I need steroids.
Do you know what, talking about steroids and well, go back to like the training routines that you just mentioned there. You did 2 cycles that I've tested. Well, I'm going to say cycle because you said you used test twice. The cycles, aren't they? You've not just used it twice and then that's it.
No, I've gone cold turkey, which that's another thing. I'll be vulnerable. Okay. It definitely has affected my probably libido and sex drive, if I'm honest. Yeah. Because I've gone from taking test and then just coming off it and not taking anything. And that's due to my own ignorance, not wanting to educate myself enough. Like I'm talking about food. I didn't really know enough about steroids. Yeah. I thought, I'm just going to jump on a little bit of test, make some gains, come off it. But you've got to kind of come off it and do a post cycle to
Well,
get your
that's it.
hormones
So
back
it is
to-
a cycle. I mean, because the way you said it, you've taken tests twice, that's like me saying I've taken cocaine twice. That would just mean like 2 lines of I've taken cocaine once on a night out, took it another night out. When we say you've taken tests twice, that's over a period of like 8 weeks.
Yeah,
isn't
8
it?
to 12 weeks,
8 to 12
twice in my
sort of
life.
thing.
So, you know, I credit myself looking how I look because I haven't really taken that much. And compared to how much steroids some people take, some people coast on test all year round.
This is the thing to talk about then, because I've known people who have done cycles, and I always say when it comes to steroids, it gets a lot of negativity, but there's a difference between using and abusing steroids.
Yeah.
If you do a 8 to 12 week cycle on steroids and then you take a post-cycle therapy and you don't touch them again for X amount of time, that's using a steroid. That is using a performance-enhancing drug. If you're someone like, and I had a friend who was like this before, I said, how long when does your cycle finish? He was like, it doesn't. And he's just injection once a week. It never finishes. Tablets every day. Just constant. And no post-cycle therapy, as we were talking about there. Talk to me about the difference between, a little bit more about about the cycle and your experiences of the difference of using something and abusing something.
Like abusing is, you know, guys, I think, for example, they're going to beef it with the lads. They want to look shredded at the beach club because they think, again, girls are going to care that you've got a six-pack and you're shredded. And what I've learned as I've got older, girls really don't give a shit if you've got abs or not. If you've got no chat and you've got no banter about you, I don't care. If you've got a six-pack, you're not going to, you know, pull women. Whereas these guys think, oh, I've got to look, you know what I mean? And like, yes, I've been there, but as you get older, you kind of mature and realize like what's important. But that would be abusing it for me, is like someone that kind of just thinks, I'll just jump on it for a few weeks, try and get a quick hit and instant gratification, and then doesn't do the safe stuff after. Whereas someone that, you know, does it right would sit down with someone probably more experienced than them, even a doctor. Maybe you would go and get your blood works done by a doctor. You would see where your test levels are sitting naturally. If you're lucky to be in the high range, then you probably don't need that much test. But then they can maybe speak to you and say, look, if you're going to do this, it's on you, but maybe you only need to take this much. Whereas if you're on the lower scale, you can realize that you probably need to take a bit higher, which before Love Island, they did my test and I was kind of just about average. So it would tell me that if I was going to go back on stuff, I would want to go to a doctor, get it done again, and you know, get it prescribed, get it done by someone that actually knows what they're talking about. And then I would educate myself on what steroids I'm going to put into my body, because you can get a 30 quid bottle of test from some fella down at the gym who doesn't care about you or whether you know, it affects your life going forward. He's just making a quick bit of money. So, and that could be anything. It could be olive oil that you're just injecting. It could be. You don't know where that's coming from. So I would also do your research on what goals you want, because some steroids, you know, help you put on size, some steroids help you put on strength, some steroids help you strip fat, get you leaner. Like what is it you're trying to achieve? Do your education. Don't just think that, oh, my mate got in great shape taking tests and sus, so I'll bounce on it. You're different to that person. Like your chemical, you know, buildup is different. So I would really try and educate yourself. And then again, just look yourself long and hard and think, you know, do I really need this? Like, do you really need steroids? Because like I said before, there's some guys in phenomenal shape and they've never taken gear in their life. So it's just kind of like, again, I can't sit here, the whole Love Island thing, I can never sit here and judge someone because I've done it before, but just try and figure out why you're doing it. You know, if you're just looking for, if you're going to abuse it, then you know what comes with that is the health risk, and you got to weigh it up. Everything we do in life, every action has a consequence, positive or negative. So if you're just looking for a quick hit, then you might be left with a lifetime of regrets because of side effect. Your hair might start thinning, the acne you might get. You know, you might be on test for 8 weeks and get in really good shape, but what about the acne you might develop? That could stay with you for the rest of your life. That's on you.
Scar as well.
That's on you for 8. So was it worth it for 8 weeks looking good at a pool club for a week's holiday and maybe getting 2 or 3 shags if you can even get it up after everything you're putting up your nose and everything you're drinking? Do you know what I mean? If you're just a guy that wants to get in shape, you can do it without steroids. Good nutrition, hit your protein, get the calories in that you need to get in, and just train your fucking ass off, and you will make progress. Steroids, you don't need them. Unless, like I say, you're trying to be a pro bodybuilder, you don't need steroids.
And if you've enjoyed this episode of Believe in People Extra, we'd love for you to share with others who might find it meaningful. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode, and leaving a review will help us reach more people and continue challenging stigma around addiction and recovery. For additional resources and to listen to this episode in full, explore the links in this episode description. And to learn more about our mission and hear more incredible stories, you can visit us directly at believingpeoplepodcast.com.